In the meantime, by the way, these elves now shifting this little, looks like a loose, very, very loose screen to the middle of the field. And a roundhouse kick for the left side, and Detlef Hamlin is stunned by the extremely agile Ridar, who largely put the game on his shoulders last week against the Salon Seers. And the Elves have this little a loose cage in the middle of the field with receivers downfield.
I smell a touchdown.
Could be. Here they go. So there's a line of 3 receivers down the field with that guard player in the middle or on the bottom. And the Witch Elf Siren coming in and knocking one of the Hans Lamprecht down to the ground, but not doing permanent damage. And there's Hoist trying to carry the team with a blitz, not able to injure anybody, and puts a tackle zone on the ball carrier. Meinhof Volts tries to return the favor against Siren and knock her down. He is unsuccessful. Here comes the Bloger, Dag Destructive. And it looks like the humans are they're done with the positioning stuff. They're going to mark people up. They're going to try to mix up the bash. The catcher who was the keynoring threat, Lazy Smurf, runs back. It looks like the humans are now they've realized if they don't all commit their forces to defense, this is going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly quick. The Elves moving back into position. Siren coming through, and the first hit off the frenzy is good, but no permanent damage. Not a lot of injuries so far, other than that injury to Rain Advar. A nice handoff to Hildjuther, who leaps over the humans, and he's going to try to pass it, and instead fumbles at first, but he did some extra training throwing a football through a tire during the week, or throwing a blood bowl ball to a tire the next week, and he's going to complete the pass to Guyliner, who scores and cuts his throat at the crowd. You were right, Trip. Touchdown.
I have power of premonition.
It also helps. So if you guys haven't figured it out by now and you're watching, we got a late start on this game. So we jumped in and rewound it to turn 1. The game is, we should be caught up really, really shortly because we're not very far behind. But that's why
my power of premonition says teams are setting up for another drive. I could be wrong, but the power of premonition is not.
Oh, is that where they are in the real time? They're still setting up for the kickoff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then we're gonna be caught up in no time, because we're just watching the witch elves. I mean, the dark elves set up now, and now we're up with Los Pumas, and we should be right back to live action here, as we're seeing the humans kind of set up in this arrow formation.
Elves.
Oh no,
yeah,
the humans
too.
on the offense.
Elves are set up in claw formation.
Yeah, arrow versus claw. This will be interesting. And now we are caught up. We're live. There's the kickoff.
Kick is short. Of course, they realize this human team does not really like caging too much.
Nope.
Not because they can't cage, but because they have such a great deep thrower and not that many pieces to protect the cage effectively.
Yep.
And quick snap enables someone to move a bit further. Catch is okay. And we will see some opening violence.
Oh, Superman punch. And down goes Kiriorl. Sorry, I don't speak much Elven, so some of these names are hard, a little difficult to pronounce sometimes. By the way, here's what I'm gonna switch the view on this camera since the humans are on offense now. There we go.
Well, to better speak Elven, you need to pinch yourself or cut yourself. You have to do it with tears in your eyes, like they do.
And oh, look at that! Dag Destructives tries to take down Hetherlarn, whatever, and the elf uses his Dark Elven Jitsu to take down the big ogre.
Yep, that ogre doesn't like to be touched there and drops down to the ground to protect his back.
I guess that hit was crucial enough to discodavo that he was willing to spend a reroll to make sure that that elf went down. Hitdrir, I guess, he wants to maximize the mighty blow on that guy.
True. This is one of two god pieces on the Elven team, and well, quite as much as in any team, but especially on a team without no regular strength training, god is golden.
Yep.
Of course, Witch's Coven is just as much jacked up on the illegal substances like discodavo's team is. Of course, this is, I think, quite the norm for very developed Mid and Mayhem League teams, pro teams at that, as when each season passes, you have an option to transfer some player in, and chances are you would want the best player you could find in our farming environment. And both teams being veterans of MML, certainly they had quite a few such chances.
Shout out to Harry Wardhog in the chat. Harry says, "Kill the war dancers, no matter what, even if there aren't any on the pitch." Oh, hold on, Trip. I gotta duck out for a sec. I'll be back soon.
It's okay. I can carry this, and as we see, humans are preparing a cage in case something goes awry. Dark elves are not a fastest side. They have they are quite average in their movement, with the exception of runner and witch elves, and they have just two such players. Humans are the faster side in this matchup, with each blitzer able to match that speed, and catches being faster than even fastest of elves. And we see Gerd targeting that catcher. He certainly would love to take him out of the game. Both catchers are integral part on discodavo's offense. In their season 4, they have their star catcher Conor McGregor, who did most of flashy plays for discodavo's team. Of course, Royce Gracie is the craziest scorer. Oh, and we see poor Gabriel, dropping down. He fails that extra triad movement. Interestingly enough, that Blizzer had the sure feet, but Los Pumas certainly left some dung hidden on the pitch to deny easy movement, and now Los Pumas are trying to create some permanent advantage, removing some of Dakals as well. Certainly one prone blitzer is not a very big problem for Los Pumas. Sure, he is agility 5, he's very agile, and just a two tackle zones surrounding him wouldn't stop him. However, even if he breaks through, Los Pumas would have all the tools to recover the ball. This is being middle of first half. Certainly Los Pumas would love to Los Pumas would love to stall a little bit more, and we see that Guyliner getting stunned. We saw just before him being the dedicated blitzer, so Los Pumas will have to find somebody else to put the hurt in. They are advancing upfield, creating the scoring threats, which is always important in case your plans fail. Last week, Los Pumas were playing a bit stinkier elves. Those were White Owls. We will come back to that shortly, as we have a very interesting development. Those crazy fast, crazy agile humans fumbled the ball. Athletic Prey did make a good pass, however, poor lazy Smurf didn't feel like picking it up. And with agility 7 being wide open, you will surely be moved around. Perhaps we could even see Siren moving in and punishing him for that mistake, as poor lazy Smurf is not trained in sidestepping. He certainly is not standing firm, and with having lost his hammer, he would certainly be a prime target to be moved. And we see this exactly happening. Siren didn't manage to pull him away, but he's knocked down. And we see the ball quite well protected. Certainly elves have options of picking up the ball. They could even try passing it to Tail, dangling in the end of the pitch, hoping to be the hero of this half and scoring. That agility 6 reader is certainly up to the task of passing a ball at this range. He's also a pro, so however, at this point, oh, he doesn't try passing the game. Gerd realizes time is on his side, and pitch position is as well. He sits in sidelight gauge with his runner, and all Dark Elf runners are trained in dump-off skill, which would certainly make in case things go wrong, that ball would most likely find another recipient. At least it would be attempted. Hello, Blue Max. Welcome to the game. Hello, my personal goat. Hello, Blue. Hello, everybody else watching this game. Please let us know what I'm thinking of that. I'm not Harry. I'm not that bad at Blood Bowl. This is triperis. Co-announcing with muted Jest. I muted him. I didn't like his announcing. This happens. It's okay. And meanwhile, on that pitch, Disco must be feeling bad. His players are failing crucial actions one after another. However, this going for it might not be as bad as it could have been. Sure, Gerd has the option of scoring right now. However, definitely Los Pumas have very potent catchers, and they could at least attempt to claw one touchdown back. And we see Coven taking the safer approach and just advancing upfield. However, their blocking game is not exactly up to snuff. They leave Alaric Prey very close to ball carrier. He could certainly try to punch his teeth out. Surely Allah provides God to make this not that easy on Alaric Prey, and Los Pumas would certainly love to have Rain Adva right now to be able to provide some assist to save the ball. However, this is not to be in this game. And we welcome Stu, who has punished Disco last week in not dissimilar style. That was a prime example, well, perhaps not of Disco's coaching, but it was certainly a textbook play of Stu, who took very patient approach and in the end was rewarded for it. And now on the pitch we have Witches Coven creating a Witches Circle. They are probably trying to summon some demon. It could even turn out to be serious Jest. We will see. We also have Storm Yao in the pitch, the all-famous Breton coach in MML, the only Bretonian team in the Pro Division. He's certainly defending the old values in MML and trying to make it great again. And this is a tough spot to be for Los Pumas. Gerdleah has overloaded ball carrier. Blocking will be more of Hail Mary play, and being 2 down after 1 half will be very tough to fight back. Ever since from winning MML, Los Pumas has having felt that loss of Conor McGregor, were not, well, how to say, as competitive. And as we saw today, that poor Lazy Smith losing the ball must have been a reminder how much Los Pumas misses player of Conor McGregor caliber. And we see a crazy block on wall carrier. So far we see Royce Gracie trying to hit the Witch Elf. He is not successful doing that.
Okay, I'm back
No?
for the moment.
And we see Witch's Collar successful in summoning Demon in Serious Jest form. Welcome back.
So the wow, the dump off fails. Huh? That ball's up for grabs, and those Pumas actually see themselves with an opportunity to salvage this game.
Oh, with so many tackle zones around the ball, so many elves capable of catching the ball, of just picking it up.
Yeah, that opportunity was fleeting, gone really quickly.
Yeah.
It's funny because it almost looks like the like the elves heavily outnumber the humans, but it's not. It's just the positioning. There's only one human out.
True. Disco cannot commit all his players to that cage because, well, he certainly needs to score to stay in this game. He cannot afford not having scoring threat. Not every player was in range, and we saw. I'm not sure if you saw that series. Just there was an attempt to move upfield. It was a pass to Lazy Smurf, and since Lazy Smurf is no Conor McGregor, well, that turned out quite ugly, as you can see.
So I'm wondering whether the elves are going to dedicate the resources to surf. No, there's no. They've used their bliss already. I was going to think they could have potentially surfed Hoist Gracie. Yeah, you can push him that way, but I thought, maybe you want Hoist Gracie off the pitch real bad since it does not look like the elves are going to want to score this turn.
It's really hard to surf strength 5 player.
Yep.
It's not impossible. I had in my game, I had freshly leveled up Ulf playing Norse, and it was surfed from 3 squares away by Dark Elves, and he lost. I think he lost movement, and it was, well, they had to let him go. So certainly elves have that ability, but at this point, these are both very experienced coaches, and they just prefer not to push back their luck when that is not needed.
Yeah. They spent their last reroll, though, so the Coven... It's probably smart. You're really not going to need that reroll on turn 8, probably.
Yeah, at turn 8, that unless Los Pumas pulls out some sort of magic on turn 8, that would be only for vanity blocks, trying to bid for some field advantage for second half.
Sure. Los Pumas trying to exact some violence on the elves and maybe deplete their numbers or something for going into the second half, but it does not look like they're very successful so far. It's a lot of big blue arrows.
True. I think with such team as Los Pumas, uh, you I'd expect one would always be in tough proposition, uh, whether to have fouling as part of your game plan or not, as quite a few players are unleveled or just level 1 and they are facing drug addict in form of which is Coven. At times you might want to bid that possible sending off for better player, however,
Yeah. And there goes a
that is
Liard
always iffy.
Fredge getting up and giving the business to Hethriorn, but it doesn't. The armor for this tight black leather is holding up just admirably for the elves. Whatever they were using last week, they decided to reinforce it. And just as I said that,
Oh,
Guyliner has his
is
eye.
missing next game.
He gets punched in the eye, and now his eye, he's blinded in that side of his face, at least for now. And it remains
And
to
we
be
see
seen whether.
God thinking whether it would be prudent to keep that player. Los Pumas are not perhaps the bashiest human side in Mid and Mayhem League. At least in the pros, they are certainly not. Uh, would you really want to push your luck against guys like Royce Grace? They had no problems removing Wood
Yeah,
Elves
Gerd had to
in
think
the
about it
last
because
game.
he doesn't, he doesn't want that particular player. Guyliner's been pretty instrumental for his team, and losing him for the next game as well is tough. But he figured, hey, look, the chances are that I might get another injury instead when the apothecary comes over. I might step on his ankle or he might cause something worse. So he didn't want to risk it, and he's thinking, yeah, I got to make it to the end of this game, and maybe a worse injury happens to somebody else. So. Um, Decides not to use the apothecary, and the end result is an eye for an eye, because the gouged eye was the same injury that happened to Rain Advar. And Banlane's going to trot in, score, and cut his throat at the humans, and this is quickly getting out of hand. If Los Pumas don't do something in the second
Definitely.
half quickly, you're going to see this game pretty much a wrap.
Humans are quite capable at defense. I'd say they are perhaps one of the best defensive races, and they will be receiving this turn. Quick 2-turn touchdown uh, could still keep them in the game. Of course, they would need a massive amount of luck, but this game is not yet over.
So if the humans still had a Conor McGregor, the one-turn threat would be even worse. But now, Lazy Smurf, as you pointed out, he's no Conor McGregor, but he does have some decent speed. Discodavo does know how to one-turn. So this team has practiced the one-turn touchdown. It can happen. Gerd making it difficult for them. Again, for those of you that don't really know how to defend against a one-turn touchdown, this is the standard one-turn touchdown defense. Spread your guys out here on the line of scrimmage so they can't be used to chain push each other. Spread them out back here. You leave only one space in between all these guys. You put them on this yard line right here on basically 4 meters out from the touchdown, so 2 spaces. So this way, whoever comes in here, if they manage to get pushed far enough that they can actually go for it, they get to this space here. They got to make 1 dodge, 2 dodge, 3 dodges this way. Sometimes I've seen rookie coaches make the mistake of putting their guys here on the 2 meter line, right, or the 24 meter line, or however you want to look at it, and then they end up only making their opponent dodge twice to get into the end zone. But this is a solid back stretch defense, prevent defense. If you try to dodge through any of these holes right here, you're going to be looking at dodging into 2 tackle zones, which is considerably harder. 2 tackle zones, and then out with no tackle zone. And what else can I cover? So, like, what you want to try to do is, if you're going to have to dodge to it, you want to get over here on the sides. Go, skirt the sideline because it's 1 tackle zone dodge. Disco setting up his defense, and we'll see what happens.
Offense.
Or offense rather. Good call. The only thing here that I could potentially say about the one-turn defense that I don't like out of this, and I know why he's doing it. He's doing it out of preservation. player preservation, but when you put your guys on the line of scrimmage, you'll see two of the three guys on the line of scrimmage for Gerd have this dodge skill, and because right now it's not an optional skill. It might be patched into the Legendary Edition patch. Oh, and a blitz, but it's gonna not get used because these L's are far out.
Yes, and more typically, if preservation wouldn't be an issue, perhaps we would have seen one-time defense well upfield, and this would have ended any bit of one-time offense. It
Yeah,
doesn't end. It's
there's
right
other
now.
ways to one-turn defense by like lining your guys up closer to the line of scrimmage as well to prevent people from getting into that and getting the chain push from the angle they need to. Of course, that's also it's a risk because if somebody does manage to somehow get in there, and I've seen it happen before, you manage to get into the area that you lined all your guys up to protect and make the push that you need, you could find yourself with nobody back to cover that end zone. And also, if there's a riot and the turns get extended, you've also got an offense that can swarm around and get behind your defense and cause problems. So I say yes, there are advanced ways of defending the one turn, but if you are a guy that you're not really sure. Sometimes, like whenever I'm in doubt, if I'm like I'm not sure how I want to play this, I just go back to the line across, 2 spaces out because it's the easiest way to ensure that you're at least
And
making
that
it.
lineman ensures that his body denies one turn. Priceless.
Oh, why did he chose that though? So it was a 2-die block.
Yeah?
2 of them were big blue arrows, and Disco chooses to take the knockdown with the tackle skill.
Yeah. Still, that body, I think it was both down, and it effectively prevented the pushing option where
No,
would
I'm looking
you
at the
have
dice.
wanted less.
Look at the dice. It was Hoist Gracie came
Yeah,
up with a
yeah,
3-die.
but
It was
perhaps he just realized his mistake well in time, and Royce
yeah, it
Gracie
must have been a misclick.
has tackle, has mighty blow, so
Oh, you're saying the
if
first block
you
was the
come
both
to
down.
one turn. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's
Because
why.
that loan essentially denied the pushing option which Los Pumas needed.
No, good point. Yeah. I didn't see that. I was paying attention to what I was saying about the dodging skill. But yeah, so the dodging skill could come in. Like if you put guys with dodge on there, then where they would get, this is one of those areas where sometimes you want your guy to fall, as Trip just pointed out. You want your guy to get knocked down because then he can't keep getting chain pushed. So it looks like Los Pumas are not going to be able to get the one-turn touchdown. They're just going to get some SPP here.
But do they foul? Would you foul? That's a god piece lying down.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I don't like the turn 8 foul. No, oh, a failed vanity pass. I kind of don't like
Well,
the turn 8
that
foul.
certainly solves that.
The reason that I don't like the turn 8 foul is because, there's all right. So first, there's a substantial chance that your guy gets ejected for fouling anyway. All right, so there's that one thing that you're risking your piece getting thrown out already. All right, you risk it on the first throw for the armor break, and then you risk it on the injury throw as well. So if you roll doubles in either one, your guy gets thrown out. On top of that, then you look at the result. Right, there's a 50%. There's more than a 50% chance that your result, if you successfully break armor, is a stun anyway. So if you successfully don't get your guy thrown out, and you successfully foul the guy you fouled, it's more than likely that guy's only going to get a stun anyway, and that's in turn 8. And if he gets stunned on turn 8, it doesn't matter. He's gonna come right back in turn 9 and be totally okay. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the foul in turn 8 because I don't feel like what you're risking often equals out to what you might get. Unless you've got a deep bench, and this guy doesn't have it. You know, if you've got a deep bench, like if you're an undead team with a bunch of zombies, or you're a Brit team, you got a bunch of peasants and they're sitting on the sideline, then hell yeah, you foul turn 8 because you don't care. Your guy gets thrown out. You got another guy that's going to step in. It's not a big deal. You have nothing to lose.
I think you didn't count in another thing which one might consider as well. If you don't foul, is the status quo okay with you?
What do you mean? For things that just...
Well, being 2-0 down, if things going fair and square and equally in terms of luck.
Okay, so I get what you're like. Sometimes you got to
game.
take these chances because you're kind of in that position where if you
just
don't take the chance,
to win. You
yeah,
to
I
win.
get that. That's what I'm saying. Generally, I'm not a big fan of the turn 8 foul, but I feel like a 2-0 match is still winnable at this point, going into second half with a team like humans. You do have the speed to score quickly, and then get it back. You have the bashiness. So what's worse to me, like, yeah, you're right. Like, you could significantly improve what's going on by removing a piece from the other side, but you could also significantly make it worse and put the game out of reach by getting your guy thrown out and that guy gets a stun. So I don't know. It really depends on the game flow. Sometimes you do just gotta go for it. You go YOLO and just mix it up. But
who would do that? Only dirtiest people in the world would do that. Terrible, terrible idea.
The ball's kicked off, and you're going to see probably... Yep, there you go. Alaric Fredge move into position there. Catch the ball. I missed who got the extra reroll. I'm guessing it was Los Pumas, right?
I missed that too.
I accidentally skipped through the kickoff event.
Yes, it was brilliant coaching, and I think it was Los Pumas.
Okay, cool. Ouch!
And we see numbers advantage.
There you go.
He misses next game, but most likely all
yeah,
next
he's a
games.
journeyman. These guys train their whole lives for the opportunity to play one match. This guy got a half a game in, and that's, it's more than most get. A healthy uppercut, and Hethriarn is stunned. And Chip, I'm gonna have to take another break. I gotta break out of here and make a call real quick for work. So
it's okay, surely. Witch's Coven will summon you again.
All right.
And as we see things developing so far, the opening exchange is quite good for Los Pumas. They have a journeyman removed, which is just pure numbers advantage. They have that important guard lineman stunned. Another one is boxed in. So essentially, Witch's Coven have no guard available for them, but some risky rolling. They have their strength 4 blitzer removed from pitch as well, so they would need to get their dice the way any unskilled team would have. Avoid tackle zones, put your guys in, and at this sort of game level, that will certainly be a disadvantage for them. And we see humans advancing same way. I think it is mostly related that on the other side. There's Dauntless Tackle, Blitzer, who is not very mobile. He was shot in the leg. It's okay to shoot elves and blacks, and had to. And they think that leader runner with pass, sure hands, and some additional armor poses much less a threat on defense. Of course, with agility 6 blitzer right next to him, who get in anywhere. However, that anywhere he would still need to have some strength, or regardless, it's to have a proper block, and he has none of that. Oh, I'm sorry, I just missed that lineman made hit with the river. Who has got? My bad. So we have that option. However, there are hardly that many valuable targets at the moment. They are likely to try to hit Royce. At the very worst, he would be pushed away, and that dauntless kill is in effect. It's good. Royce is down, hopefully dead. My prayers are not answered, but still, Royce being down just limits how many of your players he could target. At strength 5, he just picks a target and target dies. Not always, but that's the intent. And we see Los Pumas thinking of a path of approach. They are facing Elven column defense. Not very numerous, but still obstructing their path of advancement. Human catchers are not trained in agility skill, and dodging through those columns would be far trickier for them than it would be, for example, for Ridder, the agility 6 blitzer. So they need to go old-fashioned way and connect as many elves as possible. Try to make their blocking options as few as possible, and hope for the best.
There's nothing better than hitting someone smaller than you, Jim.
Royce not being his most effective self. But at this point, all elves besides the back end of columns are tied. None of column breakers have tackles, so quite likely both frontmen will have no trouble dodging away. And those columns may move just a little bit, and we see Lazy Smurf not failing catching again. He says that was a fluke and he wants to fix that. And he decides it's time to score. We don't care about those columns anyways. So, Los Pumas are still keeping to their plan. They score fast, being quite good at defense. They are hoping to open. Humans are hoping to getting the ball out of Dark Elves and equaling the scoreline with 6 turns left for them. It is certainly an option, whereas is at perhaps difficult or not too difficult proposition. If they score, humans would have to. Well, it would be quite unlikely. Well, they could trade score each at 2 turn, but in the end, for humans to get anything from this game, they do have to take ball out of Dark Elves. And humans set up in quite typical defense, denying easy advancement for Dark Elves into their backfield, which is quite in contrast how Dark Elves defend, Dark Elves being elves and not having a shred of decency or bravery. They set up to protect their players. Whereas we can see brave humans setting up to deny advancement, or at least making it as hard as possible.
Scoring my first touchdown, Jim. You see, I just ripped the head off this git who giving me some lip in the changing rooms before the game. So just for fun, I shoved the ball down his throat and then lobbed his whole body into the end zone. Ref said it was classified as a catch, so I scored a touchdown. Yeah, the NAF changed the rules the
And Dark Elves are setting up. They are committing to one side, hoping to overload it, run the ball upfield. So what I read is that perhaps they are quite okay with trying to score early to uh, make humans to have to score 2 to catch up. Certainly, such turn of events would be good. For the elves, the ball drops just in between the front line of Witch's Coven. Los Pumas get yet another reroll.
loose ball is a dangerous ball.
Only Ogre is connected at this point in time. It shouldn't be a problem for Aldrich to disconnect from him. And at this point of time, Witch's Column is just preparing for moving the ball. They are baiting Disco to target Siren, who is exposed on the other side of the pitch where the ball is. We will see if Disco denies its spliff, removing that girl. And we see that Dark Elf Runner Gerdleah, with that all-important dump of skill handling the ball. So even if Disco manages to threaten the ball carrier, the ball will go somewhere. And as things go, it is more likely to go into another elf hands. Probably not. And we see Witch's Coven advancing two scoring threats, both quite agile, and both cannot be removed from the pitch. The most agile player on the pitch is right next to sideline, and I think Royce could get into to remove him down, as being the more agile player, he would have much less trouble catching the ball, much less trouble dodging away from those human players who would try to obstruct him if they wanted to go through Cell Hill first. And we see Los Pumas making the advancement for just pitiful agility 5 Cell Hill to advance. They are most likely thinking of blitzing the Reader. No, actually they are not. And they take Cell Hill down. They still didn't solve the Reader problem. He still has possibility to advance through the side. Of course, it would need 3 dodges from him, but the number of tackle zones is certainly not a problem for him here. And he is still a very lovely target for receiving the ball and just scoring. And Los Pumas pretty much done everything they wanted. Where to position the ball. Customary ogre boneheading, forgetting where he is. And we see Witch's Coven. They perhaps wouldn't like to have their one player left off the pitch, so we might see them just making sure that doesn't happen before passing the ball. There is no safe throw available for elves, so interceptions might be a problem, even if unlikely. But please disregard my tired brain. I think handoff would quite deal with that. Yes, handoff is definitely an option. With agility 6 being in 3 tackle zones, that blitzer would still be as good a receiver as any average human would be. But elves do what they do best. They fail dodges. And this suddenly becomes a bit more iffy. They need to move really away first. The throw will have to be longer. And we see the pass is good, the catch is good, and it's touchdown. And Los Pumas are facing uphill battle to even have a remote chance of drawing this game again. Surely two-turn touchdown is still an option. They would still have 3 turns to make else to lose the ball.
2 players down is hard to come back from. He'll need some subs.
They've kicked the ball to the opponents. Now it's time to think defensively.
Apologies. I have to agree with my personal goat. Elven games can be sometimes a bit Elven. Perhaps else would do something interesting for a while and try to summon serious Jest again. That overexcited American on drugs. And we have a deep kick from which is Coven. They want humans to be as far as possible. Los Pumas get their mandatory reroll. And we will see if there are any spikes in the game plan.
This player likes to be well assisted in a fight.
This is going to be enough to come on, guys. Together.
And we see Elfriar injured. It's no long-term effect. Perhaps Gerdleah just had a sigh of relief as the game is getting into its closing stages, and that player is just made sure to be available for his next game. However, as Elven numbers dwindle, getting ball from them is seeming better and better proposition for Los Pumas. They still didn't have advanced their scoring threats, which is perhaps quite an important thing for them to do. Their Jack the Tripper, a lovely name, does not advance as far as possible. He won't be the scoring threat, at least for now. Surely humans have capable runners able to run much further down the pitch. And Lazy Smurf is just free, go for it away from touchdown, quite protected by his teammates. And they have a distraction runner in form of Hans Landrat, who is quite capable at receiving the ball if needed, even if just tackle zones are put up there. We saw Lazy Smurf with help with his coach finding an easy way to score a touchdown despite Gerd putting Elven screens, and as player numbers dwindle, their Elven screens will and are getting less and less effective.
He's coming to help his buddy. That's
got started just removing the distraction lineman first. Obviously, that lineman was put there just in turn to deny an option of movement. That guard piece is not going anywhere right now. And we see the old school Elven columns. So this time not that many ways to move down, and there is nobody protecting Hans Lamprecht from just catching the ball and going for a touchdown. Even putting a piece short. This does make it harder for him to advance, surely, with Siren having that all-important tackle. I'm sorry, a sidestep piece. No human with tackle available close. Once again, a mighty trade-off, having lost the third tackler in form of Rain Ava.
Hey, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
This time you came back on yourself. Dark didn't summon you. And we see a repeat of Gerd setting up that same calm defense, or at
Yep.
least similar,
He does
which
that well.
Los Pumas had no problem breaking up last time around.
So, for most teams, I mean, 3-1, they're down again. I said this game would be over, but Disco is a coach that knows how to score quickly, and he can play defense too. So, I mean, this game is not necessarily over. I could see a draw being
Definitely
salvaged.
not, but one failed GFI can change everything.
Yeah.
One failed catch, as we saw, they do fail. Oh, and
That
Siren
helps.
is out.
That helps.
That helps a lot. It's already 2 players lost. And perhaps Hans Lappenrecht is now in better scoring opportunity. Oh, he definitely is the only scoring opportunity, right?
Yeah, there's 4 elves off the pitch, and meanwhile only that one human missing, Rain Advar. So, I mean, this game could turn around. You never know.
Certainly, but Los Pumas in the end will need to take ball away from the elves.
Yep.
And the catch is good.
There you go.
And my dog just shit on the floor.
That's not good.
That's not
All
good,
the way! Look at that! Hans Lamprecht stepping up for his team. 3-2. We have a match again. It is not over. And Hans Lamprecht is not the prettiest guy to look at, but he sure is pretty when he scores.
And we see the moment of truth. I doubt anybody doubted Los Pumas would score, but to get anything out of the game, they have to show they can defend against those elves.
Yeah, will it be in enough time? That's the question here. And, you know, I mean, there's still some time left in this match. Stranger things have happened. And basically the Los Pumas have 3 turns to get it away from the elves and score. And they got a numbers advantage. A decent numbers advantage. And they got speedy guys. They got a faster team than the Dark Elves, so this helps. Ball's kicked. It's a high kick. Doesn't help, but it is shorter. It's going to bring Van Land into... allow him to get under the ball. He's going to catch it, no problem. And let's see.
And that dump-off is definitely a headache. Surely with more solid numbers advantage, Los Pumas will be able to mark possible receivers at least a little bit better.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of their high agility, though, just marking them might not be enough.
Yeah. You might need to be a bit more proactive and having actual players ready to block those pieces, not just stay close.
Right. And that's it. So it looks like the elves are, yeah, they're gonna play keep away.
Definitely, they're stretching the field.
It's dangerous, though. I mean, it's dangerous to try to do this to a speedy team, right? To move your receiver back and just put him out of range. I mean, that'll buy you one turn, but the humans have movement 7 and movement 8 players, like a lot of them, and they can fly downfield and make it so that your guy with the ball has nowhere to run.
Yep, and that... Oh, Siren is back. That helps a bit. She's fast. He really, the guard piece is fast.
Yep, he's fast.
However, humans are not the ones to allow deep penetration just willy-nilly, and Gerd, as it is, does not have any options to put receivers off his own.
You're seeing the elves drop people back into like a screen, so they're just gonna try to wait this time out. All right, now we're gonna see. This is when you really see the champion spirit come into effect here. This is a guy that's won it all in the MML. He's got that killer attitude, and if you're looking for a textbook of how to say screw it, I'm not giving up, I'm not rolling over here, discodavo is the guy to look to. Unfortunately, his players are not exhibiting that right now.
However, if there is any coach who is not defined by his accolades, is Gerdleah. He has stellar record in MML in general in terms of his wins. Of course, he perhaps didn't win yet when it mattered the most, but he has won quite a lot. He's definitely just as capable as any champion MML has produced yet.
Yep, Gerdleah's a very good coach, going up against another very good coach. So I'm sure we'll see something exciting here. So you're going to see the humans just really base up all those elf receivers. Because the humans have decent agility as well. They don't mind basing them up and dodging away when they have to.
Definitely. And at this point, they kind of have to bait misplace, well, in terms not of coach, but his players.
That is not what you wanted. Dag Destructive just decides to, he focuses on one of the signs in the crowd that says, go Dark Elves. And he says, no Dark Elves! He starts yelling at the person holding the sign. And you see discodavo over there telling him, Dag, take a look down the field! And Dag's not listening. He's like, no Dark Elves! He just keeps yelling. Ogre's unreliable.
And both human catchers are becoming a scoring threats. One has stacked Siren, one is still available. However, the one who has stacked Siren has sidestep, he has Nurseless Steel, so...
This is a really
and
bad...
Siren.
That Ogre deciding to bonehead at the time that he did is a really bad thing for the humans. There's nobody marking up Kiersel. He's the only elf that's not marked up. And that really allows some openings for the Dark Elves.
And especially with that Ogre losing crucial tackle zones,
Yep.
they needed to move Harcourt back.
The question for Gerd is, this is a, you know, do you push forward, or do you... Yeah, he's going to push forward.
He pushes forward. After all, it is Disco who is running out of time.
Yep.
Not good.
See the elves providing a cage over here. So the dump off is the big problem, right? Because...
Definitely. And let's not forget, when dumping the ball, you can dump it off into space, for example, next to sideline, and pray for it to be scattered somewhere where humans are not covering.
Absolutely. I forget, if you were to use a wizard, there's no wizard, right? But if you were to use a wizard on dump off to give you, excuse me, does it give you the ability to dump the ball off before you get wizarded? Or no, it's only a block.
No,
it's a block.
It's declaring the block.
Gotcha. Here comes the blitz. Oh, it's gonna be successful. Nasty sidekick. Mind how Volts is injured.
Oh.
And his skull is fractured. It's never gonna be the same again. And be susceptible to, more easily susceptible to hits in the future.
Falls on his ass. Decision.
Gerd burns one of his 2 rerolls. Will that come back to bite him? Humans all the way on the other side of the field. This is a problem.
No easy ways to get at the ball carrier at that. Well, I'm sorry, they are quite, well, easy-ish. Alaric certainly can't threaten a ball carrier in all those tackle zones.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not
hard, but
Dag
it's
finally wakes up.
Still perhaps his best option.
Finally, with Disco yelling at Dag, "Dag, ball! Dag, ball!" He goes, "Dag, ball!" And he runs over there and gets up in the elves' faces. Disco does not have to free up that ball this particular turn, but he definitely can't let the elves break contact and set up another cage, or it's going to be a desperation move.
Well, seeing that deciding not to have Rida down, I guess the game plan would be, if he maintains the ball control this turn, Rida would take the ball as far as he can, and we see a distinct lack of humans capable of moving the ball from that position. So, of course, he's taken down. He's
dangerous
boxed in.
play from Disco, because there's only two humans in range to score the touchdown.
And one of them is, Witch's Coven have ways to bring them both down.
Yep, exactly. So there's a failed dodge. That could have been really disastrous for the Dark Elves. Second dodge makes it, though. Alaric Fredge is back by who? And the Dark Elves are just going to dare the humans to bust the cage and come at me, bro. They're really going to need the Ogre to come through on this one. Also, that Witch's sidestep is a big problem. So this is a tough situation.
It is.
Great use of the loose cage for the dump off, though, by the Delves.
Yep.
And they're not done. They're just solidifying this. Ugh. Are we going to see Alaric Fredge surfed? And he is gone. Goodbye.
He is.
Alaric Fredge sent to the stands. We see the obligatory codpiece shot right there as the crowd stomps Alaric Fredge.
But he's okay at least.
Yep. How will Gerd? He's not going to let them come around. Yeah, and that's what you didn't want. The humans now a cage completely established. This game is going to be very, very difficult. Wow, all dodges, no problem. It's got to be really frustrating for those Pumas. And I think you've said this before, Trip, and I say this regularly. Los Pumas is just not the same team without Conor McGregor.
True.
He was a big threatening piece. You can say, hey, it's only one player. They have a bunch of great players. But, yeah, that one player demanded a lot of attention. And, now that attention has shifted to other players that didn't have that kind of spotlight on them before. How will our former champ handle the situation? So Dag Destructive is going to run up, put tackle zones on possible ball recipients. So you invite Detlef Hamlin.
The moment of truth.
Looks like we're looking at a potential one-die block, but... Oh, he's just saying screw it. So Disco's not going to try to dislodge the ball. He said, you know what? I know when I'm beat, and I'm just going to maximize my abilities here. Strange. And more importantly, not allow you to tell people you beat me 4-2. This is just a pride move right here. I'm surprised he didn't even try for it for the win. I mean, 3-2 in a pro match. You want to try, don't you?
I'm not sure at this point if Los Pumas realize there's no way of them drawing, thus suffering another touchdown really is bad for them. I mean, it doesn't change your record against another coach, and
Yeah, but it's just pride. He's
it
saying, you know
isn't
what? I'm not letting
tiebreaker.
you score on me. That's why he's like, you know what? I don't want it to be 4-2. You're not getting this touchdown. That's just, pride.
True, true.
And they're just gonna decide. The Dark Elves are like, we're not getting touchdowns. We're gonna maximize our violence. I'm gonna knock your ogre back. I did nothing but annoy Dag. Assist comes up and it will Siren lay the hits on Big Arm Bruce. Yes, she did, but nothing permanent.
True, true.
So again, I mean, we have look at Witch's Coven. Looks like they're going to join Harrelson's at the top of the leaderboard for this play pool. Nice little vanity pass there by Bandland, complete, and they're going to win 3-2 over the former champs, Los Pumas. Low armor breaks, right, Trip? For as many people as were on the sidelines, I mean, we had Witch's Coven with 5 armor breaks versus only 8 for Los Pumas. Yet we still had 2 injuries inflicted by the Coven and 3 by Los Pumas. Not bad.
Not bad at all. In terms of armor breaks, perhaps it's okay result for Witch's Coven, but for Los Pumas, they certainly would have wanted to have broken armor a bit more times.
Right.
Though looking at blocks, both teams just as proficient, and this is just shows how little actual blocking there was in this game.
Yeah, a lot of yards rushing here. No records or anything, but still decent amount, and a lot of SPP for both teams. So this was it's an entertaining one. And thanks for joining me in the booth on this one, Trip. And good job by
No
both of
problem
the
at all.
coaches. All right, and for those of you who want to know more background on these teams, check out MMLPro.com. You are watching the MML. All right, and we are PS4 League. Find out how to get involved, how to be one of the coaches here. We have a lot of PC coaches that just love Blood Bowl, love what we're doing here, and jump into our Discord. You can find that on MMLPro.com as well. We have a Discord chat, constant things going on there. We ponder the meaning of life, and give nice recipes for cookies that you can't find anywhere else. And thanks for joining us, and we're out of here.